After Laravel 5.4 was introduced a new very useful helper that is going to allow us to handle the failing-prone actions. Basically, with this new helper, we can retry several times a specific action waiting to obtain a different result. For example, sending emails is a failing-prone action because if we are trying to use a third-party service like, for example, SparkPost or Mailgun, that service can be down for several seconds and we can retry sometimes the email sending in case of fail. But of course, if we try a lot of times and it basically is still failing, we should obtain an expected exception. So let's basically use this helper in our mailing actions in the controller and in the app service provider. Let's start with the service provider. So we have the created and the updated events, and what we are going to do is to surround the mail sending stuff using the retry helper. The retry helper receives three different parameters. The first one is the quantity of times that we are going to retry this action. We are going to use 5 in this case. The second one is a function that is going to be executed and retried several times. In this case, this function needs to receive the user instance to be used inside. And finally, the last parameter is going to be the quantity of milliseconds that we need to wait before to retry again. So we are going to use something like 100 milliseconds. After this, basically we are retrying this specific action that is inside this function 5 times every 100 milliseconds. And of course, if after that 5 times it is still failing, well, an exception is going to be thrown, letting us know the original exception as well. So, the last step is to use this same retry helper in the user controller for the resend action. Let's go to our user controller and basically do the same. After this, if we try to send an email, for example, to resend or to create a new account, we can see how it is still working as expected. And of course, if we go to our log file, we can see that here. So we are done now with the failing-prone actions handling using the retry helper. See you in the next class.